You are looking at America's most successful and most ridiculous weapon system of World War II. In 1943, a Harvard psychologist convinced the United States military to train 64 pigeons to guide bombs. The tests worked perfectly. The accuracy was better than human bomb sights. Then the Pentagon canceled it. The reason? Nobody will believe us. This is the true story. Here is the problem. In 1943, American bomber crews had a 5% hit rate on precision targets. 5%. You are dropping bombs from 3 miles up, trying to hit a factory, a ship, or a bunker, and missing 95 times out of 100. So one scientist asked the craziest question of the war. Watt hours at if we let pigeons steer the bombs? Yeah, pigeons. Today you will discover how it worked, why it actually succeeded, and why the Pentagon spent millions on worse technology instead. Meet Burrhus Frederick Skinner, psychologist, Harvard professor, inventor of the Skinner box. His whole deal was operant conditioning. Any animal can learn any behavior if you reward it correctly. Skinner knew something most people did not. Pigeons have insane pattern recognition. Better than humans, they can track moving objects with frightening accuracy. So he thought, why not turn them into living, targeting computers? The system was called Project Pigeon. Inside the nose cone of a bomb, you would install 3 pigeons in little harnesses. Each pigeon faced a tiny screen showing the view below, what the bomb sees as it falls. For months, we researched how they trained the pigeons to peck at images of tanks, ships, and bunkers. Every time they peck the right target, they get a food pellet. Eventually, it becomes automatic. See ship, peck ship. Simple. Now, during the drop, the bomb falls, the screen shows the target, and the pigeon pecks at it. Sensors detect where the pigeon is pecking. Those signals adjust steering fins on the bomb, just like a joystick. And here is the genius part. You do not use 1 pigeon, you use 3. It is a voting system. If 2 out of 3 pigeons peck left, the bomb goes left. This eliminates errors. It is democratic missile guidance. Think about the numbers. Training time was 3 to 5 weeks. The success rate was 93%. The reaction time was 0.5 seconds. The cost per pigeon was $4. Compare that to the cost to train a human bombardier, which was $50,000. $4 per pigeon. Faster than any pilot. More accurate than any mechanical system the military had at the time. It is like if your smartphone had 3 pigeons pecking at Google Maps instead of GPS, and it worked better than GPS. That is how absurd and how real Project Pigeon was. In 1943, Skinner gets funding. They set up a lab in New Jersey and build mock bombs with pigeon cockpits. During the lab tests, they projected ship and tank images onto screens. The pigeons were strapped into the bomb simulator and they just nailed it. They achieved a 90% hit rate on stationary targets and an 85% hit rate on moving targets. Even when they blasted loud noises to simulate anti-aircraft fire, the pigeons did not flinch. They just kept pecking. No fear, no distraction, only the target. There is a recorded account of an admiral who came to observe the project. He watched 1 pigeon peck at a ship target for 15 minutes without a single mistake. Skinner noted that the pigeon knows no fear, no distraction, only the target. The admiral was impressed, but clearly weirded out. Then came the field tests in 1944. They moved to the desert with actual bomb prototypes and live pigeons. They dropped them from 10,000 feet at dummy tanks on the ground. 11 out of 12 bombs landed within 2 meters of the target. Regular bombs, they were missing by 30 meters or more. 1 pigeon even survived a test drop when the bomb did not detonate. They made her the project mascot and called her Lucky Lucy. But here's the thing. The better the tests went, the more desperate the generals got. Watt hourcy? In October 1944, Project Pigeon gets the axe, but not because it did not work, because it worked too well, and nobody could handle the public perception. There was a major credibility problem. High-ranking officials like Admiral William Parsons were noted as saying that even if it works, they cannot use it. Imagine telling Congress they are dropping pigeons on the enemy. They would think the military had lost its mind. Think about the headlines. It would be a PR nightmare. Even if the system is brilliant, it sounds insane. Then there was the political issue of the Norden bombsight. The military had already spent $250 million, which is about $4 billion in today's money, developing the Norden bombsight. This was a fancy mechanical computer for human bombardiers. The Norden bombsight had a 20% accuracy rate and billions in contracts. Project Pigeon had a 93% accuracy rate and cost $25,000 total. But you can't cancel a billion-dollar program because some pigeons are better. The optics are terrible. The contractors lose money. The generals lose face. So they stuck with the expensive system, even though it was worse. Finally, there was the living creature factor. The public might freak out about sending pigeons to die. Skinner's counterargument was that one pigeon dies instead of 10 human bomber crews. The Pentagon's response was essentially, "But the headlines." So they killed it. All 64 trained pigeons were retired to animal shelters. Skinner published the results in 1960. The psychology community was fascinated. The military ignored it. Here is the kicker. 3 years later, in 1948, the Navy spent $80 million on a new electronic guidance system. It had an accuracy of only 30%. Skinner's response was that 3 pigeons would have been better and cheaper. So what does this story teach us? First, the best technology does not always win. Politics, PR, and money often matter more than performance. Second, absurdity does not equal ineffectiveness. Skinner's pigeons beat million-dollar computers. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best one. Third, we keep repeating this mistake. We see it in modern projects like controlled insects or robotic systems that are technically superior but considered too creepy for public deployment. Maybe Skinner was just too far ahead of his time. Or maybe we have forgotten that sometimes the craziest solution is the right one. All right, here is a question. Would you trust a pigeon with your life if the data proved it was better than technology? Let us know what you think. And if you want more stories about genius ideas that were rejected, next week we are covering a wonder weapon that was too insane to build, but that NASA studied decades later. Be sure to subscribe.